Ex's divorce lawyer. Send 3 years of complete financials or else. Me, as you wish. This happened several years ago when my ex and I were going through a heated divorce custody battle. While we were married, we had a couple of conversations about how rich people hide their assets to avoid paying taxes. I've never had enough assets to do this, but she somehow got the idea that I was and told her attorney that I was laundering money and hiding income. It was more likely the heat of the moment, as divorce custody battles often come down to. I couldn't even afford my own attorney, so I represented myself. Her lawyer wasn't a total ass, but he clearly was out to get me, and he talked down to me like I didn't deserve to breathe the same air. One day, I get a letter in the mail from him requesting an updated income declarations form and 3 years of financials. It had a long-ass list of things to include. I own a communications tech company that was in superstartup phase back then. Money was already tight. I was trying to get this business off the ground with no financing. I was finishing my MBA with scholarships and loans, so paying for copies and postage or driving this 30 miles to his office meant eating peanut butter and saltines for a week. So I called him to explain my situation. He all but called me a liar and didn't believe I couldn't afford it. I was put off by that, and I said this was taking time away from business I needed to handle. To which he replied, "Well, according to your income declarations, you're not that busy. What do you do all day?" He then said if he didn't get these documents, he would consider my previous filings as fraudulent, tell the judge, contact the DA, and also alert the state tax agency and IRS. Probably an empty threat, but I'm no lawyer. Fax is one of the services my company provides, and at this time it was relatively unknown. So I asked him if he has a fax machine. He said he had a fax scanner copier device, then said what law office doesn't have a fax machine? And I suddenly got an idea. Okay, I said to him, I'll put together and fax whatever I can. Okay, motherfucker, you want 3 years of financials? You got it. I scanned a PDF every receipt I could find. McDonald's receipt from 5 years ago? Fuck it, won't hurt to include it. CVS receipt? It's 3 miles long. Perfect. They get the $1 off toothpaste coupons too. I downloaded every bank statement, credit card statement, purchase orders from vendors, and every invoice I sent to clients. I printed to PDF the entire 3-year accounting journal, monthly, quarterly, annual balance sheets, cash flow statements, P&Ls. Not only did I PDF 3 years of tax filings, but every single letter I received from the IRS and state tax agency, including the inserts advising me of my rights. It took a while, but I was a few days ahead of the deadline. I made a cover page black background with white lettering. Wherever I could, I included separator pages in all caps in the biggest, boldest font that would fit on the page and landscape. 20XX receipts, 20XX taxes, etc. I merged everything into a single 150-plus page compressed PDF and sent the document using my fax system. Every hour or so, I received a status email saying the fax failed. That's weird. Well, they're getting this document. So I changed the system configuration to unlimited retries after failures to keep redialing until it went through. Weird, I was still getting status email failures. I'll delete the failure emails and keep the success one after it eventually goes through, I thought. Problem solved. 2 days later, a lady from his office called and asked me to stop sending the fax. Their fax scanner printer copier had been printing nonstop. It kept getting paper jams, kept running out of ink, and they had to keep shutting it off and back onto print. I explained that her boss told me to send this by the deadline or else he would call the DA and IRS. Since I didn't want to call from the DA or the IRS, I would keep sending until I get a success confirmation. I suggested they just not print until my fax completes, but she didn't like that. She asked me to email the documents, and I told a little white lie that my email wouldn't allow an attachment that big, unless her boss in writing agreed to cancel the request or agree to reimburse me for my costs to print and ship. I said I would continue to fax until they confirmed they have received every page. She put me on hold, and the attorney gets on the line. He said forget sending the financials. I said that I would need this in writing, so I will keep sending the fax until he sent that to me. He asked me to stop faxing and he would send it in writing, and I said send it in writing first and then I'll stop. Long moment of silence. Click. About 20 minutes later, I received an email from his assistant with an attached, signed letter in PDF that I no longer needed to provide financials. The letter then threatened to pursue sanctions in court or sue me for interfering with their business. Every time I saw him after that, the lawyer never brought up sanctions, lawsuits, lawsuits, criminal referrals, or financials again. TLDR, X accuses me of hiding income and money laundering. Her divorce lawyer demands 3 years of financials. I spam fax them with my company's fax service. Edit. All these awards and the Reddit front page? Y'all are too kind. Thank you. I call it paper bombing. I do this, generally via scan and email, when the entire record is requested. I was asked if the receiver needs the entire record, or just the most recent court orders, case plan, assessment, etc. Most of the time, they say they just want the most recent set of documents plus the entire narrative. Easy peasy for them and me. But if they ask for the entire record, that is exactly what they get. It may take me days in between my regular work, but if you want 4 banker boxes full, you get 4 banker boxes full. I never copy and snail mail. They waste my time for unnecessary paperwork. They can waste their own paper and printer toner ink. In all the years I've done this, or 10 out of the last 19, I've only had to do the full paper bombing 3 or 4 times. I actually enjoy putting this all together and sending it. Not gonna lie, it wouldn't work nowadays if they had a modern system. Our faxes come in as PDFs and are emailed to us. No paper wasting anymore, especially when it's banks requesting the same insurance documentation they received 3 days before, but their system hadn't processed it. These days, you've got to make sure the paper has little creases in it and stuff like that to screw with the OCR, so they don't end up with easily searched data. There are lots of small law offices, though, that still rely on traditional fax because that's what they've always done. Could you also just convert everything to a non-OCR font? But I will say handwritten margin notes are a bear to process. I timed out the OCR indexing service at my work by uploading a scanned PDF of some old typed and then written over stuff. Convert it to Comic Sans and save it as multiple individual JPEGs. My partner runs a collision repair shop and had to do something similar to an insurance company. They were trying to get the estimate for the damage approved so they could work on the car, but the insurance company's adjuster wouldn't answer calls or emails. They started by faxing every hour, but it eventually got to the point where they were sending the fax every 20 minutes before the insurance company finally called to tell them to stop. My partner used that to confirm they received the estimate and demanded they send over payment for repairs, or they would put a lien on the vehicle. Put a lien on the vehicle. I know you meant lien, but it's amusing to imagine them maliciously adjusting the suspension to make the vehicle lien. Illinois teachers got a new evaluation system 5 or so years ago. Each school district was able to interpret the evaluation system and put into place what that would like for that district. Our district said document everything and turn it in for proof you are a good teacher. You will get a 4. Teachers document everything anyway. So know you want to pour through all that documentation before telling us we do our jobs? Fine, no problem. We filled up the biggest binders we could find. Artifacts galore. Every email to parents, printed. Lesson plans, printed. Behavioral logs, printed. Seating charts, included. Graded pre-tests and post-tests, included. So much more. These binders were huge and stuffed full. 2-year cycle means 2 years of proof. Our principal got several of those binders on the same day, right before Christmas break. Next year contract stated provide a limit of 3 examples per artifact. I don't teach anymore, and I just got a wave of PTSD reading them. The exhausting, torturous ways they come up with to make us prove we are just literally doing our jobs, not even to recognize extraordinary work or receive bonuses or anything. Just do a bunch of meaningless paperwork and you won't get fired. Lawyer, deep down in places you don't talk about at parties. You want me on that fax? You need me on that fax. We use words like toner, paper, and dial tone. We use those words as the basis of a life spent doing business. You use them as a spam line. I have neither the time nor the inclination to explain myself to someone who sends and receives on the very fax machine I provide, then questions the manner in which I provide it. I would rather you just faxed a thank you and went on your way. Otherwise, I suggest you pick up a phone cord and hook up a machine. Either way, I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to, yo. Receptionist, did you order the long fax? Lawyer, I did the job and I'd do it again. Receptionist, did you order the long fax? Lawyer, you're goddamn right I did. Thank you for watching. Like this video, share your impressions in the comments. See you later.